Joke overview.
看笑话。
Wait. A wife stepped into a fruit shop, angrily asked the owner, "Why have you never given my son the full amount of plums he buys?" "Madam, this is a legitimate shop, and I do not cheat my customers." "I send my son to buy 2 kilos of plums each time. Why does he always bring back 1 1/2 kilos?" "Did you check your son's weight?" Key words.
学词语。生气，
Angry.
生气，生气。店铺，
Shop.
店铺，店铺。分量，
Amount.
分量，分量。生气，店铺，分量，生气。店铺，分量，生气。店铺，分量。
Make a sentence.
学句子。这家店铺的商品分量不足，顾客都很生气。
The customers are very angry with the shop for its unfair dealing.
这家店铺的商品分量不足，顾客都很生气。这家店铺的商品分量不足，顾客都很生气。
Review.
复习，生气。店铺，分量。这家店铺的商品分量不足，顾客都很生气。
Wait. A wife stepped into a fruit shop, angrily asked the owner, "Why have you never given my son the full amount of plums he buys?" "Madam, this is a legitimate shop, and I do not cheat my customers." "I send my son to buy 2 kilos of plums each time. Why does he always bring back 1 1/2 kilos?" "Did you check your son's weight?" Do you understand?
你明白了吗？
We have discussed the tying methods for the most basic Chinese knots. The string tails that remain need to be handled with proper care. We have already discussed using flower petal knots, but this method is only one of many, and it is quite simple. The majority of Chinese knot compositions are accompanied by a tassel, a soft, gently hanging tassel. They bring an added beauty to the piece. Next, we will primarily be discussing the method used to tie a tassel and how these tassels are used to complement a knot composition. We will also discuss some issues to consider. These days, tassel string is usually wrapped in a ball. What should the proportions be for the length of a tassel compared to the knot composition? In principle, the tassel should be at least twice as long as the knot composition. Take this ring as an example. It is about 8 centimeters long. So the tassel should be 16 centimeters. This is the best measuring guide. Following this general rule, you can make small adjustments. Now we will figure out how to make the tassel to accompany this piece. There are many ways to tie a tassel, but today we will choose 3 styles. After you unwind the string, we need to find a piece of cardboard about the desired length of the tassel. This piece needs a 15 or 16 centimeter tassel. With this in mind, I need a piece of cardboard that is about the same length. This is 18 centimeters, which is about right. I will use this book instead of cardboard. Wrap the string around. How many rotations should I make? If this top part is close to a centimeter thick, we usually make a 60 string tassel. In this case, we wrap the string 30 times. With 2 strings, we wrap 15 times. That will be enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That is about right. Cut it in half at the middle. A tassel shape emerges. We need to take out this long string. And use it to tie the strings together. As you tie it, be sure to monitor the tightness, not too loose, not too tight. After you are done tying, use a needle of any sort and stick it through the middle of the strings. Because the tightness is just right, we can flip it over to see it dangle. It looks symmetrical and evenly spaced. At the market, you can buy this kind of plastic tube cap. If we do not have this specialty tool, we can use an old ballpoint pen or even a strip of paper to help us with this next step. Here is the tassel we are making. Hold it here by the handle. We take the tube and insert it like this. Hold the tassel by the top and make adjustments all the way around until the plastic cap is invisible. We do not want strings crowded together or unevenly spaced. This does not work. All sides should look even and identical. Take an extra piece of string and wrap it around to stabilize the strings. This is the kind of string you can buy at the market. This is a strong yet thin red string. Here we need to learn a new knot, called the rolling curtain knot. We take this thin thread and make a loop. Place it along the tassel cap on top. Notice this loop is on the outside. Leave extra string to use. The tail of the string is here. The loop is on this side. Now we use this strong thin thread and wrap it around the cap of the tassel. Make sure the threads are in the neat line. Do not rely on your eyes to tell you if they are straight and tightly wound together. This should all be accomplished by using your hands to feel. We continue wrapping steady and even, each thread tight against the previous loop. Wrap around until the cap of the tassel is covered. The string tail I just cut is now threaded through the loop we made with the rolling curtain knot. Use the left hand to hold it tight. Slowly pull the string with the right hand. Now we just pulled the thread through, threading it underneath the wrapped threads. This method helps strengthen the tassel structure, prevents it from unraveling, and gives it an orderly appearance. Now we can take out the needle. We have created a lovely tassel. Take the ends in hand and trim them until they are even. Now we are ready to affix the tassel. This is the effect when it is complete. This is a full and complete Chinese knot piece. Most Chinese knot compositions will follow this tassel style. It gives the work a flowing quality and adds richness and beauty. This is one kind of tassel. Here is another tassel making method. It is a little more simple than the method we just learned. If the right materials are not at hand, we can also use the wheat tassel knot. Let's keep the length the same. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
A stingy wife. One day, a husband said to his wife, "I need some money to buy a comb, because a tooth of my comb is broken." The wife replied angrily, "You want to buy another comb because one tooth is broken?" Her husband replied gingerly, "It's the last tooth." Like this. A servant broke a valuable vase while she cleaned a house. The owner returned and found something was missing. He asked, "Where is the vase?" "I broke it," said the servant. "How?" asked the owner. The servant was too scared to explain. She stood next to another vase and hit it with his arms. Like this!
This knot does not need a plastic cap to make the top of the tassel even. The tassel knot supports itself. Divide the strings into 2 even parts. Now we make a wheat tassel knot. The tying method is the same. 1 presses 2, 2 presses 3, 3 presses 4. Tighten it up. Now the strings are all joined together. Continue tying another layer. The more layers we create, the more strong and stable the piece feels. Here we will knot the second layer. We could make it 3 or 4 layers, depending on your requirements. As we near completion, we can use another color thread, perhaps gold, to make a rolling curtain knot. Wrap it around tightly. Otherwise, it will tend to unravel. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It is the same method here. We take the extra thread and pull it through the loop we made above. The thread tail has been hidden underneath the wrapped threads. This is another style for the top of the tassel. Isn't this style nice looking as well? It is also easier to make. If we place it with the knotted flower garland, we can see that it has a distinctive look. Even the tassel has a pretty decorative knot. A beautiful wheat tassel knot. That is the second tassel tying method. I will now introduce the last tassel method. This is another way to form a complete work. Let's look at the double coin knot again. If we take the beautiful main knot form and join it with a tassel, that will be a great design. Let's take a look at what kind of results we will have. These steps are the same. Wrap it around the middle with an extra thread. Again, we use a needle to pierce the middle. This gives it a lovely, even dangling look. Again, we use a plastic cap here. We use an extra thread to tie it together. This part here still looks messy. What should we do? Use the double coin knot we have already learned. The double coin knot is beautiful. We will use 2 colors of string. Loop clockwise, place it underneath. After it is complete, we will give the tassel a kind of cap. Make it like a little bow. Let's try it on the top of the tassel. According to the tightness of the tassel, we can make adjustments to make it just right. Use a lighter to melt the string tails. Here we need to use silk thread to fix it. We need to use glue to attach the knot cap. To the top of the tassel. This tassel has a really special style. Let's take a look. This is a lovely tassel. If a Chinese knot piece is delicate and well crafted, we need to make a tassel that echoes that style. Look at this piece. Because this knot is tied with a jade carving, it is rather exquisite looking. The tassel string is also elegant. The corresponding tassels have a delicate shape. The tassel cap is longer than usual. And there are 3 tassels joined together. These qualities make this piece elegant and give it a high value. In order to assist tassel makers as they exert effort to wrap these fine threads, we can use this beautiful decorative ribbon to wrap around the tassel cap. We use a little glue and lightly press it on. Isn't this also really nice looking? This is our introduction to tassels.
Ready to take off. All the passengers were asked to get off the plane due to some technical problems. After a while, all the passengers were asked to return to their seats. The passengers asked, "The problems are resolved so quickly?" "No, we did not fix the plane. We just changed the pilot." An ideal house. Mr. Zhang is retired and lives in his country house. He wanted to sell it and buy a better house, but he could not. One day, Mr. Zhang found his ideal house in a magazine, so he called them up. The agent told him where it is. Zhang laughed. "That is my address. You exaggerated." Cockahoo. A company wants to improve efficiency by designing a doormat for a house. There are plastic doormats which serve as outlets for the staff's anger so they can beat those models black and blue. A month has passed, and the general manager comes to inspect the doormats of the house. Seeing his model remains intact while the other leaders' models seem awfully shabby, he feels rather cocky. Thinking that the staff is very pleased with him, putting on a dry air, he asks, "Why have all the other plastic models become shabby except this one?" A new staff member answers, "Because all the other models haven't been replaced once, while this one has been replaced 3 times already. This is the 4th replacement." Encounter. I went to the restroom while visiting the museum over the weekend. I closed the stall door and took off my pants. Then the man in the next stall asked, "How are you, man?" I normally do not chat with other men in the restroom. Anyway, I replied, "Fine." While I was concentrating on what I was doing, he asked again, "What are you up to later?" I found him odd, but maybe he was bored. I said, "I will go home afterwards." "Do you want to come over?" he asked. I believed the man to be gay or mentally ill. I could not stand him any longer, so I said, "Don't bother me again." He did not reply immediately. That is the way to treat this kind of person. Suddenly I heard him saying, "Sorry, man, I will call you later." There is a pervert next to me, and he replied to all my questions.